This video was sponsored by Surfshark VPN.
Raptor testing is ramping up for Booster 7 and Ship 24 at SpaceX Boca Chica. While we've seen a lot of rapid progress, what else is left before the fabled orbital flight test? The past few weeks have seen an onslaught of Raptor engine firings down in South Texas. The star of the show has undoubtedly been Booster 7, so we'll start there. Booster 7, which is currently slated to fly on the first orbital mission of Starship, had a rocky start to the summer. On July 11th, SpaceX attempted to perform a spin prime test of all 33 Raptor engines on the vehicle. For those who are unaware, a spin prime is when the turbopumps on the engines are spun up, but no ignition occurs. During this first of its kind test, a cloud of methane vapor underneath the booster ignited right when the test began, producing a large explosion. It's still not entirely clear how much was damaged from this anomaly, but SpaceX did remove Booster 7 from the pad a few days afterward to roll it back to the production site. There, several engines were removed, and inspections and repairs took place. The vehicle was rolled back to the pad on August 5th, sporting only the outer ring of 20 engines. This may have been due to the inner 13 engines being damaged in the explosion. Now on the pad, the booster performed a few single-engine spin prime tests, followed by 2 single-engine static fire tests. These were the first ever Raptor firings on the orbital pad, and the second test even lasted a whopping 20 seconds. For reference, most static fires last only between 2 to 4 seconds. Booster 7 was then rolled back to the production site where it gained its inner 13 engines, and returned to the pad once more. Following a series of 3 engine spin prime tests, the booster attempted to perform a 3-engine static fire on August 31st. Interestingly, all 3 engines were spun up, but only 2 actually ignited. It seems like an engine on the outer ring aborted before igniting, but nevertheless, 2 Raptors fired for a few seconds on Booster 7. Strangely, an engine from the middle ring that didn't undergo any testing on the booster was removed and replaced following this test. It's unclear why this occurred. Now, what's left for Booster 7? Well, it seems pretty likely that a repeat of the 3-engine static fire would take place to make sure all 3 Raptors work. Or, who knows, maybe SpaceX is happy with what data they've got now and decide to move forward with higher engine counts. It's likely that larger and larger numbers of engines will have spin prime and static fire tests, with perhaps some pre-burner tests as well. This is a brand new type of test campaign, so we're actually learning alongside you. It will be very exciting no matter what route they decide to take. But regardless, the final goal is almost certainly a 33-engine static fire. This should be one of the last major tests before launch, and may occur with or without a ship on top. And given how loud 2 engines were, I can't wait to see what 33 engines firing sounds and looks like. But, of course, there's one other vital component of the orbital flight test vehicle, Ship 24, and we'll get right into that after a quick word from my friend Jack. Take it away.
Thanks to our sponsor for this video, Surfshark VPN. When you browse the internet without a VPN, companies are able to track your every click. They can tell what kind of device you're on, what operating system you have, where you are, and where you've been. It's not just companies either. Hackers and/or nefarious actors can track your activity and sell or exploit your info. What can you do about this? Well, a VPN like Surfshark masks your IP address and encrypts your data, making all of that impossible. It prevents you from being trackable and keeps you safe online whether you're at home or on a public Wi-Fi. Plus, as a bonus, you can change your virtual location to wherever you please. Is there a TV show or movie, Fifth Element, that's not available in your country? Use Surfshark and you can stream shows or even use apps and services that aren't available in the country you're currently in. Save 83% and get an extra 3 months free right now by going to the link below and entering the promo code NASA Spaceflight when you sign up. Thanks again to Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video.
Thanks, Jack. Ship 24 has remained perched on suborbital pad B since it rolled out at the beginning of July. Since then, it has performed a smorgasbord of testing, including several spin primes, igniter testing, flap testing, and even a dual-engine static fire on August 9th. The next objective may be a 3 or 6 engine static fire, depending on what SpaceX deems necessary. But that may be on hold for now, as SpaceX just removed a Raptor vacuum engine from Ship 24 on September 2nd. Like Booster 7's engine swaps, it's not clear why this engine was changed out, but hopefully it won't lead to a long delay. If all goes well with booster and ship testing, we may see a full stack in the near future ahead of final launch preps. A wet dress rehearsal and/or some static fires with the full stack would not be surprising to see. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's still a good amount of booster testing left, and the engine shrouds on the booster still need to be installed. This should all take place over the next few months if everything continues to go well. But even if things don't go well, SpaceX is knee-deep in building the next vehicles in the series. Booster 8, for example, has completed all major stacking inside the Mega Bay, though it's still waiting on its grid fins. Ship 25, meanwhile, remains nearly stacked inside the High Bay. Its tanks and nose cone just need to be mated. Both vehicles seem more or less identical to their predecessors and are being readied for the second orbital flight, or, if needed, to be called in as replacements. Booster 9 is coming along as well, as its methane tank has mostly completed stacking in the Mega Bay. Parts for Booster 10, along with Ship 26 and 27, have been seen around the site as well. Finally, some other interesting activities have occurred around the site over the past few weeks. Some Raptors were spotted flying around the complex on August 25th. No, really. 3 US Air Force F-22 Raptors flew several laps around the facility, prior to an airshow, performing some tricks along the way. Mary and the robots caught some amazing videos and photos, so be sure to check that out after this. And as if that wasn't enough, the very next day, the crew of the Polaris Dawn mission flew past the complex in Mission Commander Jared Isaacman's fighter jets. Polaris Dawn, the first of 3 missions in the Polaris program, will launch on a Crew Dragon later this year to perform SpaceX's first spacewalk. The third Polaris mission, however, will involve a different spacecraft. Now, while its launch date is well into the future and entirely unclear, Polaris 3 will see the first crew launch on board SpaceX's next rocket, Starship. And that's all for this update. Be sure to also check out our frequent McGregor update videos to see some great shots of the ongoing Raptor and Merlin engine testing occurring every single day. Thanks for watching, and have a great week.